At its height, Ybor City had 200 cigar factories employing 10,000 workers. One remains. The company is the JC Newmann Cigar Factory, still using time-tested techniques of hand-rolling and machine-manufactured cigars. Come along for a tour.
Our company actually started with a bunch of Germans because we were a Midwestern company. We started up in Cleveland, Ohio, and we moved down here later on in our company's existence. So it's just us now, right? But we're still making all these early brands here that we were making up in Cleveland. We're still making them in Tampa, like Decision, Rigoletto, Cuesta Rey. You don't inhale it, you just puff on it. Unfortunately, the customers didn't think that way. So the cigars are still down here to this day, 70 years later. Nobody's smoked the damn cigars, you know? So here they sit, the original nicotine-free cigars. Was Little Chicago. We kept getting robbed. Pretty much every cigar factory in Tampa got robbed at least once. And in one instance, they were robbing the Corral Wadisca factory, and the Corrales said they didn't have any money, so they shot their pay clerk for good measure as a warning. You know, don't just let that happen next time. So if we don't want to get robbed and we don't want to get shot, we've got a staircase back here, and you can take it down to the basement and hide money, hopefully, or at least hide the Newmans from the mafiosos. Door. So like I told you, it's a trap door. It goes up to the offices. And it's actually in JC Newmann's old office.
Man said get a cigar box.
This is tobacco from Central Africa, grown in Cameroon. This is tobacco from Connecticut, grown in South Windsor. Tobacco from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Tobacco from Claremont, Florida. Licorice, because we always wanted to hold on to one bale of Cuban tobacco.
A Cuban cigar.
Have you ever wondered why people long for Cuban cigars? In a word, marketing. Companies wanting to maximize profits use cheaper Cuban tobacco, but portrayed it as superior to domestically grown tobacco. This plan backfired with the Cuban trade embargo of 1961.
So they'll be in here for 12, 18 months, somewhere in that time frame, and they'll be boxed up and packaged and sold to people. And you might say to yourself, this is not millions of cigars, but that's because these are only the handmade cigars from the factory. Very distinct kind of grassy, woody smell, a little bit acrid too. When tobacco ages, it releases ammonia and nitrates. That's part of the refinement process, right? You can taste it a little bit. It's called a cold draw, but when you just pull air through the cigar before it's even lit, you can kind of taste the flavor of the tobacco. And if it's a little bit subdued, if it's a little bit muted, that means the tobacco's been aged.
Before tobacco can be manufactured into cigars, it needs to be rehydrated. This worker is spraying the leaves with distilled water to reactivate the tobacco. He makes sure every leaf is hit before setting them aside to move on to the next stage. From here, it will be taken to either the third floor to be hand-rolled or to the second floor to be machine-rolled. These machines will make between 12 and 14 million cigars annually. These storerooms are piled high with filler tobacco. They found long ago that most of the nicotine in a tobacco plant is held in the center stem. These machines will remove the stem and separate the leaf into right and left halves. From there, they will go into the machines to be used as wrapper for cigars. Some machines roll left to right, while others roll right to left. This ensures the most efficient use of the whole leaf. Operators receive a flat hourly rate, but also get paid by each cigar they produce. So the fastest workers make the most. The machines are from the 30s, so keeping them up involves scavenging parts from others. Humidity is dispersed from vents in the ceiling to keep the tobacco pliable. Steam was originally used, but became unbearable in the days before AC. These cigars start with paper made from tobacco, where it is rolled with the filler, glued with a natural proprietary adhesive, and finished with a tobacco leaf wrapper. These machines will produce approximately 840 cigars per hour. If you're enjoying this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. From production to packaging, a machine will individually wrap each cigar in cellophane. The third floor of the factory is where tradition comes into play.
So these are our cigar makers. Take a gander, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to be a fly on the wall. So everybody up here is Cuban. Of course, they all worked at different factories. Except Luis, he did like 3 or 4 different factories. He did a tour de force around the island, you know? But they all worked at different factories, of course, and they were trained by different people. So you can see, even though they're all making cigars the same way, there's little idiosyncrasies there's little nuances. And it's kind of like when you look at a painting and see an artist's signature, you know? That's their signature on these cigars. So in the front, Luis and Yenny are making the same cigar. They're using the same tobacco to make a cigar called the American. And that means they're all made in U.S. domestic tobacco. So they're hard at work, a little bit nicer. And it's all in the field. He has a recipe he has to follow, of course. He's got that recipe in his mind. He knows he has to get a couple of this type of leaf, a couple of that type of leaf. But once he feels like it's the right ratio, and again, it's all in the field, he's gonna roll it up into that binder, which is an actual binder leaf, unlike downstairs.
The different levels of the tobacco plant are used together in a cigar. The lower leaves will burn faster as fuel but have less taste, while the upper leaves burn slower but have the smooth taste you're looking for. These combined together make the cigar what it is.
It's just tobacco leaves, water, and time. But the process combining those and the ratios is what made Tampa great. So we just want to open up the public and show you how we do things here.
After they are hand rolled, the cigar goes into the press. Next, they move on to getting the finishing touch before being bundled.
And then she's got to color sort them. And this guy also has to get 19 buddies, and they should not be in the same box together, right? So that's an important part of the process. And she's trained to identify like 25 different colors in a wrap. You know, there's a lot of history behind it, there's a lot of story behind it.
Tramiel is nothing like a good cigar.
JC Newmann also offers hand rolling classes. Subscribe to see that video when we drop it in the next couple of weeks. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. We are not endorsing smoking or offering any medical advice. Please consult a doctor for medical advice. This video is for entertainment purposes and a part of Tampa Bay history.